We should be live here from Australia in Melbourne for the inaugural race of Formula 2 for the fourth installment of European Racing League here in Melbourne. After a lot of waiting and hard work from the admins, we are finally ready to kick off the new season. And we're hoping for an exciting season, just like the last one, where Calichrist won the Season 3 Championship and has now been moved up to F1. But all eyes are on these 14 drivers today to see who is gonna bang on a surprise and get the victory today in Australia. You may recognize some names, some new people, some people demoted, and some people promoted, such as Billy, the F3 champion from last season. Hello Zalen, and hello Leon Bentley. Hopefully the stream is up and working and the mic quality is good. So yeah, I'll try to commentate as best as I can for you guys. Hello Jill Drive, hello Calic. People joining us from F1, F2 and F3. Very good to see. So with the new format, this season, we do have full driver names instead of gamer tags, mainly for commentary, and the standings on the website looks a bit more realistic, more professional and cooler, I guess. Gets people knowing each other a bit better. More motivation from you. Okay, I'll try to. I'm just trying to save my energy for the race start, because I know there's going to be a very exciting race. I know you guys have a lot to offer, and I know I'm not going to be going to get let down from you. This is only round one and the hype is very real. I can't wait for the race start. Oh, it's actually Groe. I didn't know it was Greenwich Beer. So hello Greenwich Beer. Runner up from last season, don't know if you want to remember that. Obviously beaten by Calichrist in the last two races and eventually lost the World Championship. But anyway, let's run through the driver full names so you get a better idea of who is in each team, who is here today, and what the driver full names is. So Bruno Fernandez, also known as Joruru NL, is joining us today in the Mercedes alongside Ross Botterman, who's not actually here, Tom Mortiers and Alessandro Van der Velde, Tom Killer and Alice Killer 150, both in the Scuderia Ferrari. Johnny Roper joining us from F1, demoted from last season due to poor race pace mainly, and Eduardo Oliveira Maledictis. I think both are here racing in Red Bull. Yeah. So Martin Mortiers, Tom's brother, Greenwich Beer, and Leon Bentley, Bad Boy, both in the Force India here today in Melbourne, putting on a show for the crowd. Very good drivers, a very strong lineup in Force India, so we have to keep an eye out for them. But yeah, let's see how the weather forecast is. Let's just skip that intro. Don't want to get copyrighted straight away. So yeah, let's see the weather. I don't think it's going to be anything than dry, if I'm honest, but yeah, it is dry indeed for qualifying. Not sure about the race, but this is it. We're in qualifying, round 1 of F2 Season 4 here in European Racing League. 14 drivers are joining us. I think a lot of people are going to be happy it's dry today. Next up in Williams Martini Racing, we have Lenny Saville, Spaghetti Chips, not here today, and Kiel Farrow super sharp shooter also not here today. So Williams on the bottom of the constructors already, with Calvin Backham and Alex Marsh in the McLaren, Honda, Warlock Mania and Chill Drive respectively. Robin Fokema, Robin 8F, and Mitchell Fleury, obviously Mitchell underscore F1 in the Toro Rosso. Few people already going out today in the track. Pretty much everyone going for their first lap of the year. The first run then here in Albert Park. Hopefully this is a very exciting qualifying session. Next up in Haas F1 team we have Vasilios Velochotis and Anthony Bilbay. Billy 1704, the F3 champion, and Claudio Balloons, who's not joining us today. In Renault we have Matthias Mustayabi and Glenn Redden, and I think Swami Kalori and neither MLG Kiwis are joining us today. So Renault along with Williams, neither of their drivers representing their teams, with Brett F1 team lap up from Benjamin Kilchrist and Rusty Shackleford. With our only reserve being Puk van Vliet, you can clearly see we don't have a big turnout, so you're gonna have to stick with the 14 drivers we have today and try and enjoy the race. With the F2 drivers already out on track. 2095, very good race pace in the evaluation race in Malaysia we had a couple of weeks ago. Tom Killer and Alice Killer, two Ferraris, also starting their laps, with Billy and his teammate starting the laps as well. The McLaren's lining up on the penultimate corners. Yeah, indeed, Calic on 14 in F2. Not a great turnout, but not many people we have. The least we have is F2. But let's see how Johnny is then in the first sector. Let's put the lap data on and see how he fares in the first sector compared to others. 27.1, so not a very shabby first run then from Johnny. Let's see the two Ferraris, Tom Killer with a 27.1 as well. Alice Killer seems to have abandoned his lap, with Billy also not very quick on the first sector. I don't think, didn't quite get that first split. Wrench with a 27.0, currently the quickest in the first sector. Alice Killer is off in the runoff area at turn 9. Chill Drive on a 27.4, so people circulating on the low 27s on the first sector. Already Johnny in the third one. Let's see what Roper can do in the penultimate corner then. Very smooth on the gas. Actually losing the back end quite a bit then on the Red Bull. So Johnny Roper around the final corner. It's going to be the first lap of ERL to 22.350. Not a bad lap from Johnny, but I don't think we're going to see that lap on pole. 22.0, already beaten by the Ferrari of Tom Mortiers. I think he's going for another quick lap on maximum revs. Greenwich Beer, Tom Killer's brother in P2, so 1-2 for the Mortiers brothers. Billy in P4, Warlock in P6, beaten by Mitchell in P5. Now Mitchell Fleury in P5, 22.7. So no one has gone into the 21 so far. Warlock, Calvin Backham in P6 with a 22.9. And then we have the 23s by Maledictis, Smoking Bandit and Joruru. Not a very representative lap from our reserve in P11. As Robin now goes P4, Robin Fokema in the Toro Rosso alongside Mitchell Fleury. I don't think many people are going to go for second runs here. Tyre wear isn't very good. But yeah, I think lap times are going to start tumbling down either way on the second run. It's only a matter of time before we see still 3 drivers that haven't set a lap. Bad Boy, Leon Bentley, Alessandro Van der Velde, and Shield Drive, Alex Marsh. So I think Alex is now on a lap on the penultimate corner. Doesn't seem too bad on the curb though. He's going to go back in the pits. Tom Killer also back in the pits, and actually Alex Marsh is going to miss the pit lane, and he's going to have to go for another lap. He's got the fuel, so he's not going to lose too much time. 6.5 minutes still left in the session. Alex Giller on the penultimate corner. Let's see if he puts on a lap in the board. I think he will. He's coming out of the last corner. Max Revs opens the DRS, and across the line is going to go now. It's going to be P3 for him, 22.1, half a tenth shy of Greenwich Beer. So very good lap then from Alex Giller. Robin goes quickest with a 22.005 on the Toro Rosso. So Robin on pole on the first run with 6 minutes to go. He's going to have to go back in the pits pretty quickly though for his second run. But it seemed very close up top. 2.5 tenths between the top 6. And then Billy follows 2 tenths slower than Jaruru. It's going to be very interesting to see where they all line up for the start of this race. Still Alex Marsh and Liam Bentley without laps. So, gonna see what they can do as well. I think this time Alex Marsh, I don't think he's gonna be on a flying lap because he had to stop by the exit of the pit lane, on the entry, sorry. This time he actually is gonna go into the pits, you know, outside the pit, so he's found the right line for that. Liam Bentley in the pits as well, so these two are gonna have to wait for the second run to put a lap on the timesheets. Tom Killer has improved indeed, and Billy has improved as well. I think actually only Billy has improved, sorry, with 22.0. So he's now on the second row of the grid ahead of Greenwich Beer. Robin back in the pits. I thought he was going out. Mitchell Fleury, his teammate, in the pits as well. Chill Drive seems to be getting a bit annoyed by his pit entry mistake, I would imagine. He's not got a lap on the board yet, so it's going to be interesting to see if he cracks under pressure on the second run. Only Billy out on track then, the Haas driver with no fuel, so he's actually on his in lap, so no one on the out lap for the moment. So we're going to have to wait and see. But the top 7 separated by 253 thousandths, which is extremely close. Robin Fokema and P7 for Ruru, so very close between those. Johnny said a round of fuel down the pit straight, and he was on for a 21.7. So I think we're going to see a fair few people heading to the second run with quite a bit of confidence, seeing the quickest lap so far as a 22.0, and people can easily go in the high and even mid 21s. But we'll have to wait and see who is going to perform the quicker and the more efficient in the second run. A lot of pressure on these drivers. You can see the field is really tightened up, so mistake can cost you a couple of rows here for the start of the Australian GP. But this guy so far on provisional pole, 6,000 shy of getting into the 21. But I think we're going to see that anyway on the second run. Let's see if he can put a 21 as well. Everyone's starting to go out in the track with 3 minutes to go. Our reserve still in the pit lane. Warlock still in the pit lane. Joruru. Martin Mortiers going out on track now. Vasilios in pits. But it seems like everyone else is heading out on track for their second run. So as we said, it's going to be very interesting. The clouds seem to be coming as well. We hope for some rain, hoping something to mix things up. But I think this is already very close. And a very good start to this qualifying session. Very exciting. Then Robin starting his lap any moment now with a lot of fuel in the tank, so he's going to make a mistake and he's going to have to go for a second run. So he's playing it kind of conservatively, heading out of the last corner. We'll see who's quickest on this first sector, second and third. to see their wings, who's quickest on the straight and who's quickest on the sector, with a lot of twisty corners. Into the third corner, then down to third gear for Robin, up to fourth, third, fourth. A lot of oversteer. This has not been a very good lap. I think he's down on his delta time, with Warlock as well. Calvin Blackham on the McLaren alongside Shield Drive, starting his lap as well on the out lap. He's going to be very tight to make it, so he's only going to have time for one run. Shield Drive, his teammate, also has to put a lap in. He's coming out of the last corner, so let's see what he can do first. Not a great lap, but bad boy Leon Bentley goes quickest with 21.911. So very good lap, but I think you're gonna have to see that beaten either by Tom Killer, Johnny R95, Billy, anyone I think can beat that. He's the first guy to go on the 21s and a very good lap. I think we're gonna see him in the first two rows with that lap. But Tom now out of the last two corners. Leon thinks that's the quickest he can do, so he retires from the first qualifying session of the year. Tom now opens a DRS. Let's see where Tom Maltese goes across the line. Is going to be pole. Yes, it is a 21.897 by Tom Killer. He goes provisional pole, beats Bad Boy to P1. Bad Boy down to P2. The top three have all retired, so it's all down to the other guys to get pole now for the first race of the season. Billy and Grinchman in the last sectors. Grinchman goes very, very wide. Let's see where Martin goes across the line. This is going to be pole. Yes, it is 21.8, but Johnny beats it with a 21.765. Johnny on pole currently. Billy across the line as well. He comes out of the final corner. Let's see what he can do. It's a 21.6 from him. So Billy goes even quickest, mid 21 with his drivers. I think that's going to be pole. Shield Drive across the line now. Where is he going to be put? It's still P9, so he cannot improve his position. Just 9 thousandths shy of Jaruru. Very, very close. Let's see the other 4 people remaining. Some people seem to be very annoyed in the chats. Didn't put the lap they wanted to. Robin was on pole, and I told you he's going to be far down the order with that lap, and he's now P6, only the third row of the grid. But let's see if any underdog can beat Johnny and Billy for the front row. Is it going to be Mitchell? 21.8 from Mitchell Fleury into P4, snatches the second row from Tom Mortiers. Let's see what the Smoking Bandit. Nothing, because it's left the session. So this is your grid for the Australian GP. Lines up on pole for the opening race of season 4 here in the Form 2. Johnny Roper in P2, Brenish Beer, Martin Mortiers, Mitchell Fleury, then Mortiers, Leon Bentley in P6 rounds up the 3 front rows. Some people lagging out of the session. Johnny says the backhand kicked out of the final corner, so it's all to play for here in Australia. A lot of people can win the race on their day. As you can see, it's so close off the top, but it was Billy who got pole in the end by almost a tenth, so that's a very healthy gap then. But we'll see. It's the race where you get the points, and these people have to in the Australian GP. I'm just gonna take a break now, get ready for the race, and see what happens in the tight streets of Albert. Let's see if we can invite Smoking Bandit, and we can't. Shield Drive says he lost 3 tenths in the final sector. Alex Marsh in P11. He's going to start on a fresh set of either ultra soft, super soft, or soft compound of tyres for the start of this race. Round 1 then. 7th of April is Formula 1. 6th of April we have the Formula 2 and the Formula 3 races with a new ERL format. Fridays 6 and 8 PM for F3 and F2, and then we have the top tier of Formula 1 on Saturdays at 5 PM, also commentated on this channel. So you can see there half a second between the top 8. Very, very close. 2.8 from the whole grid. Our reserve on the super soft tyre lines up last. He's gonna have a fresh compound either way. But it's now the start moment we all have been waiting for over a month. 14 drivers lined up on the Melbourne circuit. It is indeed very close, Khalek. Going to be a very exciting race, I can guarantee you that. So stick around, our 7 viewers, to watch the start of this season, how it all plans out, who's the quickest, who's got the pace, who's going to be the winner and who's going to be the loser. So in Australia, very anticipated GP. And we have the formation lap as always. Vasilios Velichotis going through all the gears, making sure the engine is working properly. Johnny Roper lines up in P2. Didn't think I would say that any time in F1, if I am honest, and we think F2 is the right place for him. I think we can all agree on that. He's looking very, very strong, very competitive. I think we all want to see him like this. Very competitive grid. I think F2 is just the place for him. As I say that, Calichrist claims that Johnny's going to crash and shield. Is going to be 4th, and Robin Forkema will win. Dual Drive hasn't got a podium last season in the infamous Brazil puncture, so I really want to see him getting a podium here. Would be a great story for Alex Marsh to see him get a podium on the opening round of season 4 after such a tough season in season 3 in F2. He remains in the same tier. He's got the pace, and I think he's going to be one to watch out for in F1. Well, the drivers have already completed their formation laps pretty much. Super Sharpshooter has been disqualified. Apparently he's starting last. He may have a grid penalty, I'm not very sure. But Sepins Pukpanviet is in 13th. Sorry if I'm pronouncing any names wrong, which I probably am. They're all new to me. This is indeed going to be good, Khalek. Very hyped Australian GP for F2, and it's about to get underway. Let's see how this goes down. The lights are coming on then on the Melbourne circuit. It's 5 red lights. And it is lights out, and an amazing start by Johnny Roper already from turn 1. Is he going to lead? Is he going to put that Red Bull into P1, into the first corner? Johnny into the lead of the race, pushes Billy off. Let's see if Billy is still on the track. Yes, he is, but he gets attacked by Greenwich Beer. Martin Morty is into P2. Is he going to attack Johnny Roper into turn 3? Yes, he is, around the outside, but I think Johnny is going to defend that. Yes, he is, so Johnny into the lead. The Red Bull of... the Ferraris of Tom Kill and Alex Kill into P4 and P5. Johnny's still in the lead, and I think some mistakes right in the back by Robin. So Khalek, I think he's not going to getting the win today. Robin in the back with a damaged wing on the Taurus, so that's not a great start to the season from turn 3. Not sure what happened there, but we can see Super Sharpshooter in 13th and Warlock very far down the order with a damaged wing as well. Maledictus in P11. And Childruff has made his way up into P8, but now Grangebeer P2, Billy in P3, lose the back end, and Billy into the wall. He's now got a damaged wing, and into the 2 Ferraris he goes. Both the Ferraris are out. Tom Killer and Alice Killer. What was that from Billy? He takes both Ferraris out of the race. Tom Killer is in P3, so he's somehow survived. But now Johnny Roper is getting attacked by Martin Mortiers for the lead of this race in lap 1. An exciting start to the season this has been. Billy has retired from the race after running in P3. Now Martin Mortiers is going to try and go down the inside into turn 1. Lap 2, yes he is. Johnny Roper is going to try and defend that. Both of them are out of the track. Very dirty there from Greenwich, but the Force India is now into the lead. That's going to be investigated by the stewards. Tom Killer now, Tom, down the inside of his brother. The two brothers side by side for the lead of the Australian GP. I think the Force India is going to stick it in the lead. The Ferrari in P2. And I think Johnny's going to be fuming after that in P3. Bull sees itself in 3rd position for now. I think he's going to have to keep his cool. He's got the pace for the race victory. But again, I think personally that was a bit too aggressive from Greenwich from my perspective. He went off the track himself and pushed the Red Bull off, so I think that might be investigated by the stewards. Yeah, but not sure what penalty he might get. I'm not a steward myself, but now Grimsby is going to get attacked by Tom Killer. The Ferrari is going to try and go in the lead of this race into turn 15, I think this is. And yeah, Tom Killer into the lead of this race. Greenwich down to P2. I think he's losing a bit of pace. Not sure if he has damage or anything from that overtake, but I think he might be wanting to get DRS for the next lap. But look at that train. So many people lining up on the back of Greenwich and all these people. Tom Killer in the lead on the Ferrari now. So Mitchell, you can see all those fastest laps. Childrive is currently the quickest man on track. He's going to go down the inside of bad boy Alex Marsh around the outside into turn 2. DRS has now been enabled, and what a great move by Childrive from P11 to P5 in the span of 3 laps. This has been an amazing start for the young kid from Britain. Amazing start for McLaren. Warlock though finds himself down in P12 with Alex Killer down in P10 as well. So what a great start by the Ferraris there, getting attacked by Billy in the opening stages of the Grand Prix. Tom Killer still in the lead then, pressurized closely by Grimsby, and then Johnny Roper seems to wanting to get his revenge, but not with that kind of rear end. He's losing it all over the place in turn 9. Very lethal curve then. Yeah, Falcon, you're the steward, so you know I think that will necessarily be investigated, as that was for the lead of this race. And now the move for 3rd position. Mitchell Fleury into P3 pushes Johnny Roper even further down the bottom. This is not going great for Johnny Roper. He seems to be losing pace on the opening stage of this Grand Prix. I think he's still a bit frustrated about that overtake that Martin Mortiers made. But now Tom, his brother, is kind of not keeping up with the same pace as Grimsby. Super sharp shooter bins it in the wall in the exit of turn 2. So if we had a safety car, that would definitely be a safety car, but we don't. Tom Killer then, I think, yeah, he's got a penalty. And Alex Killer with his turn has got a penalty as well, but his DNF, he's binned it in the wall on the exit of the fast chicane. So Robin now up into P11 out of 11, so we're left with 11 runners. Oh, and someone is off. Grimsby is off, so Martin Mortiers, the Force India, is off. And immediately he tries to spin it around, but he's down to P9, and the race win is pretty much gone for him. That might be a bit of karma by his overtake, but yeah, I'm not trying to be biased, but that overtake was very, very aggressive. And now he spins it in the wall. Not sure what that was. I think that was just his mistake, if I'm honest. But now he's got a damaged wing, so that's going to affect him massively. That's race over for the Force India. Very, very unfortunate. Leaves Tom Killer 5 ahead of Mitchell Fleury, who's not within DRS, but he's getting pressurized by Johnny Roper. Let's see if he can get his form up and get his pace up in F2 and try and make a move on Mitchell Fleury. Meanwhile, Liam Bentley and Alex Marsh going at it into the penultimate corner. That was very, very aggressive by Alex Marsh. It is 3 wide heading to the last corner. I think that's Joruru. Yeah, it's Joruru into P4. Childrive getting pushed in the wall. He's got damage now. Damaged wing for the McLaren by bad boy Liam Bentley. Very aggressive by both of them. But Alex Marsh very aggressive into the penultimate corner. And then Liam Bentley gave back his own medicine into the last one. But this has been an amazing start, a very hectic one. And I think we're all getting rewarded for all the wait we had. It's been a very intriguing start with Tom Killer, a name you've not been waiting for in the lead so early on, and Mitchell Fleury in P2. So after so many bad performances from Mitchell and so many misses last season, he now finds himself in P2 and Johnny Roper in P3. Either way, he's going to be happy seeing his name in P3. I think he's enjoying F2 way more than F1, and he now finds himself very, very close to the tail of Mitchell Fleury. So Toro Rosso versus Red Bull. The junior team finds itself in front of the Red Bull. So Johnny's going to have to try and find a way past. His tires are going off due to the dirty air, and this is the closest battle we have so far. Johnny Roper very, very wide. Yeah, 3 wide into the last corner, indeed Falcon. That was never going to end well, but to be fair, Chill drove very aggressive into the penultimate corner, and then Leon Bentley, bad boy, kind of gave what he gave it to him in the penultimate corner, but that gave him damage. Now Chill drive, and the first reserve Sepins back in the pits for a change of front wing. Meanwhile, Bad Boy and Joruru are now continuing their battle. Is Bad Boy? I thought Bad Boy was going to go for it into turn 4, a place you not see an overtake happen, as is the very tricky turn 5 afterwards. But let's see then, he's going to go on a move on the next 2 corners, or is he going to wait for DRS? It is great racing. Other than that, Falcon indeed. Joruru and Bad Boy very close to each other. Bad Boy, very good exit. Joruru seems to be good, very, very defensively. I'm sorry, I cannot remember Joruru's full names. We'll just call him like that for now. But Leon Bentley right on the back of him, the Force India. They both seem to have very little tyre wear left, or tyre left, and a lot of tyre wear, a lot of tyre degradation here in Australia. And it's not very easy to keep it on track. As you can see, Johnny losing so much pace on Mitchell. And I think he's got damage actually. Yeah, he does. From what I can see on the front left, I think he does have damage on the front wing, and he's going very, very slowly. He might have tried to put one down the inside of Mitchell, but now these two are still going side by side. Bad Boy and Joruru. I think Joruru's going to try and stay ahead into the first corner. They're all going very, very close to Johnny Roper then. Joruru loses it and very close to Bad Boy. Bad Boy somehow manages to navigate his Force India around the outside of the Mercedes and now into P4 and sets his sights to Johnny Roper, the very slow Red Bull. He's moving very, very slowly around the Australian circuit, and I think Joruru is now, I think his tyres are going to be gone and he's going to have to pit very, very soon. Maledict is not very back either. Let's check the tyres and the pit stops. The top 6 haven't pitted, the other ones have made a pit stop, with the top 5 being on Ultra Softs. Then we have Eduardo Oliveira, Johnny's teammate, on softs, Alex Marsh on super softs, Calvin Blackham on softs, Martin Mortiers, very unfortunate Force India driver, in P9 on softs, Robin Fokema on Ultra Softs. I think he recently pitted. Sepins Pukombliet in P11. That's a pretty hard name to spell. So, Bad Boy and Johnny Roper. It's Leon Bentley versus Johnny Roper. No, never mind, Johnny pits. So, Red Bull into the pit lane. The crew is getting ready, very, very close to the pit limiter then. Very aggressive by Johnny Roper. He's determined to fix his front wing indeed and put on a set of soft tyres to complete 22 laps. So you can see his Red Bull make it to the finish line in one piece. Let's see if he gets a podium on the opening race of F2. So Mitchell with a penalty, Alex Marsh into P6 after Johnny Roper pits. Roper exits the pit lane then on his Red Bull on the soft tyres. Tom Killer and Mitchell Fleury, 3 seconds separate the top 2. Tom Mortiers, last year's race winner, on the McLaren after disconnecting the last lap. He now finds himself on a different car, on a different season, but on the same position. Is he going to finish like this? Is he going to make it 2 out of 2 in 2 seasons? Let's see. It's going to be all about his strategy, all about his race pace, keeping his cool, and making it to the finish line with no mistakes. It's not easy to do all of that in one race in 20 laps. You can see already he's losing the back end, the tyres are gone. I think he's going to have to pick this on next lap for soft or super soft. It's all to play for, but it's going to affect his race a lot throughout the next 20 laps. And already the people behind him are getting a massive undercut, such as Johnny Roper on the softs. So I think these top 3 are going to have to pit sooner or later. Look at Joruru's tyre where that front left is looking nasty. It's about to cut off, if I'm honest. So he's going to have to pit definitely this lap. I don't know if you can feel the tyre wear. Bad Boys as well. Mitchell Fleury's tyres are actually looking pretty good. And Tom Mortier is in the lead. He doesn't have a lot of dirty air, so he's keeping his cool so far. He's doing a very good race, opening the gap to Mitchell Fleury. And I think we're just going to have to wait and see if he pits this lap. Very crucial what tyres he's going to be put on. If he puts on the super soft and he's comfortable with them, I think it's going to be an easy win on the back, as long as he keeps his cool and does no mistakes for the end of the race. Let's see if he pits now. He stays out. So from my experience pitting on lap 10, you're probably going to go on super softs, and going 10 laps on the ultra softs means you have very good tyre wear. But now you can see Mitchell Fleury pitting, so that's why we're talking about the undercut. A lot of people are pitting. In fact, everyone except Maledictis, who's on the softs, are pitting for the soft tyre. Pretty much everyone, yeah, everyone on the soft tyre from lap 9. It is inevitable. But I think Tom Mortier is going to go on the super soft tyre for the second stint. Going to have to wait and see. Going to be very crucial, as I said, which tyre he goes on. Despite the undercut, these drivers are going to get Mitchell Fleury, Liam Bentley, Johnny Roper jumps Joruru in the pit lane phase. Warlock Menier, Calvin Blackham is in P8. Martin Mortier is in P9. Robin Fokema still in P10. Not a great race for him, very dull since his pit stop. And reserve chilling in the back in P11. So this is the closest gap we have got. Alex Marsh actually on the super soft tyres. I'm not sure if he has pitted for them. I think he has. Only the top 2 haven't made a pit stop so far in this race, but I think Tom Kill is now going to pit. He is indeed. The Ferrari pit crew getting ready then for what I would imagine the super soft tyre. Let's see. Is it going to be the same colour as his car? No, it's not. It's actually the soft tyre. So from my POV, I think it's a wrong decision, but we're gonna have to wait and see his tyre wear. He's still gonna have better tyre wear and one less lap on those tyres. Sorry, but you can see Mitchell has chopped down the gap to 2 seconds now, under 2 seconds. So another 1 lap and he would have got within DRS, but I think now Tom Mortier is just going to pull away from Mitchell, and it's pretty much where Mitchell has to push to get within DRS, stick with Tom and try and maybe make a move. It's not a big tyre difference they have, so yeah, I think Mitchell has to push now. Seppin's now into P10 as Robin Fokema pits. Not sure if he has a broken front wing, but he's now on the soft tyres. Liam Bentley right behind Marsh on the super soft tyres. Marsh is struggling on those. I think he's been on the super softs for quite a while, whereas Liam Bentley has pitted 2 laps ago for the soft compound. Let's see then, right behind him, he's going to make a move before the DRS straight. He might well have to, because Alex Marsh is going very, very wide, and down to P5 he goes, and Liam Bentley easily up into P4. And I think Chill Drive is now actually going to have DRS, so this is going to go in the favor of Alex Marsh. Closest gap we've got 2 tenths separating these two. I think if Alex doesn't go for a move now, he's not going to be able to do it any other opportunity. I think he's way too far back, so this is pretty much game over. To stick with Bad Boy and way fresher tyres. He's now get a penalty on the second corner, which is not good. That's not going to help him in the end of the race. Joe on the Mercedes in P7 doing his own thing, switching the fuel mixes and just keeping his rhythm, keeping his pace, and his time will come in the end of the race. Still 18 laps to go for the Bollock Mania, the other McLaren in P8. So yeah, not a very bad race for McLaren. 14 points they have so far. Martin Mortiers ruined the race for Force India with his crash on very early on. Bad Boy's teammate in P4, he's doing pretty well, keeping the pace up. Top 3. Well, that's a very big corner cut. Mitchell now very close to Tom Killer, so he's actually catching him, and this is going to be interesting because it's for the net leader of the race. Maledictus still hasn't pitted. I don't think he's going to do for a while. Let's see if Mitchell Fleury battle on our hands. He doesn't have, yes, he does have DRS actually, so this is huge for Mitchell Fleury. He's going to go right in the back of Tom Killer by the end of the next straight. Let's see what happens. Then he has to get way close to build the pressure on Tom Mortiers. He's still nowhere near for a move to be done, but as long as he keeps his Toro Rosso within the 1 second gap of the DRS, I think this is going to be a very huge battle for the lead and the win of the opening round of season 4. Very, very nice race with quite a few DNFs, quite a few crashes, but this has definitely been the opposite of a boring race you'd expect. For another time, the F2 drivers have provided an amazing race. We're not even halfway there. People are supporting Mitchell in the chat, and I think we all want to see Mitchell putting up a fight on Tom Mortiers, seeing what he can do, seeing who's the quickest. Yeah, for the moment Tom Mortiers not on great pace. Mitchell Fleury very close to him, but obviously penalties are going to come into play on the end of the race, and I believe from the top of my head Tom Killer has one and Mitchell doesn't. We can check that obviously in the race director. Tom Killer with only 1 warning and Mitchell with 3 penalties, so I'm pretty sure I saw Tom Killer getting a penalty, but yeah, head's gone apparently. But now these two, season 3 title favourites, but disappointed a lot of people in the second part of the season. They're now going at it for P8 in Australia. Let's see who of these ERL veterans will come out on top. Calvin Backham versus Martin Mortiers, McLaren versus Force India in the first race of the season. Already rivalries are starting to come into play. Am I blind? Why am I blind? It's happening in sector 3. Nothing apparently. Confused Calicrist. Tell me what's up. Grange now outside the second. There's Johnny very close to Alex Marsh. So Johnny now picking up the pace, although he's only catching a slower car of Alex Marsh on the super soft tyres. He has to navigate his way ahead of the McLaren very quickly if he wants to be in a shout of the podium. He's currently net P5 after Maledictus pits. But if he stays in the back of Chill Drive for much longer, Eduardo Oliveira is going to be able to catch him. So let's see, John Roper has to go ahead of the McLaren in this lap, because as you can see, Leon Bentley is just there. The Force India is dropping back from the top two, and Johnny now right in the back of Alex. He's going to get DRS after the chicane and try and pass him in lap 16 or 15. It all depends on this exit, which wasn't very good. So he's going to get DRS. He's going to stay behind him for 4 more corners before he puts it up into rich mix and try to go for an overtake. Into overtake mode now, party mode, anything he can do to get past this McLaren. Way slower than him on this fresher compound. He has to get in front, but he's not very close to him. He's going to open DRS. Let's see what he can do then. Very close to him, getting closer, getting time on him, getting kilometers on him, but he's not very close to make an overtake. You can see they're going very wide on the second corner. Now in the slipstream, DRS has a look, but nowhere near for a move. Alex Marsh stays in P5. She'll drive then with a penalty. Alex Marsh has a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. I think he has a fair few of them now. Let's check. Alex Marsh has 4 penalties. Wow. 4 corner cutting penalties for him. The McLaren is really struggling to keep it within the white lines. As now Warlock finds himself behind Grimsby. So we missed that, unfortunately, the battle between these two legends. Alex Marsh still getting pressurized by Johnny Roper in the Red Bull. John Roper gaining a lot now in the back straight after the fast chicane. Grimsby gets a penalty. John Roper seems to be way closer than the last lap, lap 16. Still 15 to go, and Maledictus still hasn't pitted, is still getting out, and now Tom Mortius is right behind him. I'll make sure I do, Calic. I'll make sure I get 4 penalties, okay? That's the only way you're going to get a chance of winning. But Alex Marsh now getting pressurized by John Rupp, who's actually getting a penalty now, so penalties are way more crucial than you guys think in F1. These guys are so close together. You can see the top 3 are separated by just 3 seconds. That could mean the difference between a penalty and no penalty. But meanwhile, Johnny Roper in front of Alex Marsh. So he finds himself in net P4, 3.4 behind Leon Bentley, who is net P3 and in the podium. So this is the battle for the first podium of the year. Warlock gets a penalty as well, added to his collection. He's going to get DRS again. Maximum power for the 2 straights. This is very, very warm, soft. I think there should be no bother for the Ferrari to get past the Red Bull on the back straight. Starting lap 18 for the net leader, struggling on the back of the Red Bull. Hasn't got dirty air for much on this race, so this is pretty new to him. The car handles way differently on dirty air. Eduardo Oliveira is going to defend though. Tom Mortius down the inside, a very aggressive move, very harsh move there from the Ferrari, and very impatient from Tom Killer. He needed to get past, but cleanly, at least, and now bad point to P3. So Eduardo Oliveira is losing positions left, right, and centre. Force India around the outside, sweeps past the Red Bull, and up into P3 then. And Roper is the one left to pass Mandis before we have a net P4. Top 3 now are, as we see them, covered by 1.3 seconds. Just says how exciting the race has been. 1.4 between them, and a lot of penalties between them as well, unfortunately. Tom Killer with no penalties, 1 warning, but Mitchell 3 penalties and 1 for Leon Bentley in the Force India. Let's see how this plans out. I think Tom Killer's got this in the bag, you know. 3 penalties for Mitchell, that's 9 seconds. really hard to get past and then make the gap. So Bad Boy on the other hand has to get past Mitchell Fleury, then get past Tom Mortis, and then create a 3-second gap, which is also extremely difficult to do around this circuit, where overtaking is not really easy to do. And if these two battle hard for second place, it might give a chance for Tom to pull away, as Grimsby now leave the session. I think doubt he's in peace. Not been a great weekend for him, not a great start to season for F2. Liam Bentley right behind Mitchell Fleury. Let's see if he's going to go on a harsh move like Tom Killer did. Very, very close to him. Might snatch DRS. Let's see who has the better straight line speed on this straight before the fast chicane. I think it might well be the Force India, you know. Maybe they've put them Honda engines a season earlier on the Toro Rosso. Seems like it. The way, very, very Toro Rosso on the DRS zone. This is the DRS activation point, and the DRS activation point is going to come about 300 meters later. Mitchell Fleury bins it in the penultimate corner in the grass, and now down to P3, finds himself 3 seconds behind Bad Boy now. A loss of concentration in the penultimate corner, down to P3. Very, very bad mistake there. Costly mistake by Mitchell, and this may well cost him the podium, as he has many penalties. The two Red Bulls going at it. Johnny Roper down the inside of the Oliveira. Messed that name up a lot. Sorry, Maledictus. But Johnny up into P4. He's very, very close to Mitchell. Let's check his penalties real quick to have an idea of what is going on. He's only got 2 penalties. Relatively clean compared to Mitchell. So either way, he's net in front of Mitchell. He's got a net podium for the first. As long as he keeps it within 6, I think, seconds. I think Mitchell has 4 penalties. So as long as he keeps it within 6 seconds of the car in front, he's going to get a podium. With just 10 laps to go, I think he can control that gap. So the Red Bull driver might be seen on the podium after a very long time in ERL. He's going to be very, very happy with this result. But meanwhile, up the top, Tom Killer and Bad Boy. 1 penalty between them. Maledictus in the pits. Yellow flag for someone. I think that might have been for Giroux. He's moving kind of slow in the last corner. But we missed that one anyway. Tom Killer and Bad Boy, 1.2 between them. As Johnny now into the second zone, DRS zone for Johnny Roper, as Tom Mortis kind of stabilizes the gap outside the DRS zone, which is the important thing for the leader. Liam Bentley trying to get the gap down under also 1 second to get the drag reduction system on the back of that Force India. Calvin Backham another penalty, and now he has retired from the opening race of the GP. So his form from last season seems to continue into this one, and we're just left with pretty much 8 runners on this Grand Prix. But it's been very exciting nevertheless. The top 2 still separated by just 1.1 seconds. Johnny Roper closes in the gap to Mitchell even more, now just half a second between them and the DRS detection point. And the Red Bull is going to open the DRS in just over 100 meters. Classic Warlock, it seems to be classic now. It's got such a bad form from last season, right from Singapore, from Italy actually, where both Ferraris retired last season. It seems to continue into this one. It doesn't have the motivation to race, and he doesn't have the time to practice that much, I don't think. He's just getting so unlucky, to be fair. So his McLaren road to glory hasn't got off to a great start. with Alex Marsh though doing the job for McLaren in P6. Not bad at all, but half a second between these two, and then 1.1 still between the top two. John Roper closing in on Mitchell Fleury, the two Red Bulls. Junior program is Mitchell Fleury, so doesn't want to go in a crash with Johnny this early on in the season at least. Red Bull are keeping an eye out on this young talent Mitchell Fleury to maybe earn him a seat next season. So he wants to keep it clean. Now the gap is exactly a second between these two. Has he got DRS? Let's just wait and see. On the back straight, Tom seems to be struggling with still 8 laps to go. Has he got DRS? I don't think he does just yet. So we're gonna stick on board with these two. Is Johnny Roper close enough to make a move into turn 1? Let's see now on board with him. He's very, very close, maybe into the second DRS zone. Warlock has now left the session. Mitchell, very good exit from both of them into turn 3. Johnny Roper is gaining and gaining into 2-3 now. He's going to have a look very, very close. Mitchell leaves in the room just in case he goes for that, but he doesn't. Johnny Roper stays behind for another lap. I don't think this is costing him the podium. This is the guy he has to battle for. This is on his battle he's got left, and he has to win this one. Not necessarily though, because he's got 2 less penalties than Mitchell Fleury. So as long as he plays it safe and stays behind, which is clearly not what he wants to stay ahead, and obviously I don't think he knows he's got that many penalties. I don't think any of us would know, as the game doesn't inform you about that. But you can see just how much these two are struggling, especially Johnny now. He's lost over 2 tenths that corner to Fleury, as the top 2 are separated by just 7 tenths. Tom Mortier's just 3 tenths he's lost in the last lap. So now Bad Boy within 8 tenths. He's got the DRS this time for the first time this race, with just 6 laps to go. 7 this one. See, Johnny's 7.5 tenths between Mitchell Fleury. He has to get past him if he wants to battle the top 2. And I think if he gets past Mitchell and the top 2 start battling, we may see a 3-way battle for the victory of the opening race. We're gonna have to wait and see. The 6 viewers are waiting patiently to see the end of this race. It's definitely very, very interesting with the top 2 and the battle for the podium hotting up. The top 2 very close to each other. It's Force India versus Ferrari. You may have seen that last season in F1 with the same order, pretty much. Anyway, close to that comment. Johnny Roper very, very close to Mitchell Fleury, closer than ever, with 5 laps to go. He's playing it patiently here, Johnny Roper, especially with all the incidents he's had after leading the race at one point. He's now playing it very patiently in the closer stages of the race. But he's going to play very aggressively because he doesn't know Mitchell has many penalties. So you have to kind of go on his mindset and try and think like he does, because he doesn't know Mitchell has 2 more penalties, which means 6 more seconds added to Fleury's race time. It's going to play a massive role in this race. In every race this season, the penalties are always crucial. Well, the race for the lead is not over yet. Leon Bentley with 1 penalty, 3 seconds added to his race time. And I don't think Tom Killer has any penalties, so still Tom Mortier's very, very good. He's got 2 warnings actually, with Leon Bentley on 1 penalty and 2 warnings as well. So this is where drivers lose concentration and start getting penalties from the latter stages of the Grand Prix. 3 seconds can mean 5 points difference in your tally. You never want that. Mitchell though seems to be holding back Johnny Roper quite nicely, with Johnny not being able to find a way past. I think his tires are gone. I think he's playing a bit too conservatively here. With just 4 laps to go, about 20 kilometers left of this race. I think the opening race of the season has left us with some question marks, but some surprises definitely, with Bad Boy surprising in P2, definitely Mitchell in P3. I think we all expected Johnny to be up there in F2. Seems to be enjoying it himself. Warlock's form seems to have continued from last year, which is a bit of a disappointment, I would describe it. Tom Killer makes it 2 almost. It's not put that commentator currents on him. He's about to make it 2 out of 2 in Melbourne with no penalties. The only driver to not get penalties, I think. So big congratulations so far in this race. He's had an amazing race, and Mitchell Fleury gets yet another penalty added to his race time. So whatever Johnny does now, as long as he doesn't fall back 9 or more seconds, he's got the podium in the bag. Very good race from him. He's kept his cool after the first incidents in this race, losing the plot, losing the race lead and the podium for 1 point. Now he's fought back to what it seems like to be his first podium in over a season. 8 runners left in this race. Robin Falkema in P8 in the Toro Rosso, about to get 4 points in the team. Eduardo Oliveira, P7, Johnny's teammate, 6 points will be in the back for him. Shield Drive doing the job for McLaren. Alex Marsh in P6, 8 points will be his. Joruru in P5, 10 points in the Mercedes, the only Mercedes driver to continue in this race. Tom Killer with Ferrari leading the race. Bad Boy in the Force India in P2, Mitchell in P3 in the Toro Rosso, and Johnny the second Red Bull in P4. So just over 2 laps of this race left, just over 10 kilometers of the Australian circuit left to complete the first out of 14. Sorry, obviously not doing the whole season, as we would finish way later than we wanted to. So some races have to be excluded from the championship. Johnny falls back from the clutches of Mitchell Fleury. I think he's had enough, but a big surprise is waiting for him. The penalties that Mitchell has will promote him to the podium for the opening race. A very good way to kick off the season, and time to regroup and head to China. So let's see first what happens here, because there's only 6 tenths between the top 2. Tom Mortiers versus Leon Bentley in the Force India. These two have been going at it all race long, pretty much all second stint long. See there, Leon Bentley dancing across the curbs, drifting over them. Tires are gone. And his pace is gone as well, as Chill Drive collects another 3-second penalty from the fast chicane. Leon Bentley 1.1 behind race leader Tom Killer, who starts his final lap of the Grand Prix, 29th out of 29 laps for Tom Mortiers on the Ferrari. He's going to kick off his season with a win here in Melbourne City Circuit. Truly sensational drive from him. Kept his cool, some very aggressive overtakes, a battle with his brother for the lead of the race. And now he's going to come home on the Ferrari to add another flag to Maranello. Johnny R95 has now got a penalty, the third one. Mitchell has 5, so Johnny Roper is still well and truly safe, sorry. So Tom Morty is starting his third sector and the last one of the race. The Ferrari then picking up the pieces of Warlock Menier and Alex Killer from last season. He comes around the final corner. Tom Mortiers wins the opening race of ERL Season 4 Formula 2, picks up 25 points. It's a win in Melbourne for Tom Killer, Bad Boy in second, Liam Bentley in the Force India, and Mitchell Fleury in P3. Promoted to P3 is Johnny Roper. So a great way to kick off the season for those top 3. Mitchell Fleury, an amazing P5 as Joruru actually goes P3. Excuse me for that voice crack, but that was extremely surprising. I didn't see that one coming actually. Joruru out of nowhere, out from P5. I was about to say, so Johnny Roper's last lap penalty actually costed him the podium, so that's extremely frustrating to say the least for Johnny Roper. Joruru P3, huge congrats to him, keeping his cool inside the track limits and getting 15 points. So that's just sensational from the podium drivers. Very good try from all 3 of them. Very well deserved win by Tom Mortiers here, lifting the trophy up for Ferrari. Another flag in Maranello. Good race from everyone. Liam Bentley in P2 on the Force India. And in P3 have Joruru in the Mercedes. You can see Tom Killer and Joruru, the only ones not have a penalty, and Robin actually. So obviously Johnny Roper's penalties and Mitchell Fleury's penalties costed them the podium. Joruru snatched it away in style in the end. Truly surprising the way things went in the end. But we're going to get the top 3 on the party now and try and get them to speak for us. Get your questions in the chat now before you all go, because we have the top 3 heading into our party in full speed. Still hyped after that race, so they're gonna have your full reactions from them. So yeah, get your questions on the chat, guys. The 7 viewers, Johnny, Calic, Chill Drive, Robin, get your questions in the chat. Ask your top 3 anything you want. Hello Tom, hello Leon. Hello. Just waiting on P3. Alright, so here is Joruru, and it's time to kick off the interviews for the opening race. First of all, well done to all of you, and well done to Tom Killer, Tom Mortiers, making it 2 out of 2 from last season, in style this season. Absolutely amazing. Top job from you. All race, some aggressive moves, but they paid off in the end. Kept your cool ahead of Leon Bentley in P2, and you made that 2 out of 2 race wins in 2 consecutive seasons in Australia. How do you feel? Very good. Simple as that. So, yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, especially in the last lap, you about 6 tenths, I think, the closest he got. But obviously, Leon had a penalty and you didn't. So, yeah, he did in the end. So, I got you the win. Crossed the line in P1, raised the trophy for Ferrari. Um, so yeah, 25 points for you. P1 on the driver standings after a very long time since last season, obviously in Australia. Do you think you can carry that form onto the next races? Okay, okay. So we have our first predictions from Tom, Ferrari for constructors. Um, yeah, obviously you're both gonna have to fight for it if you want to do it this season. But moving on into P2, very well done, Leon, for second place, 18 points. Starting the season, your first full season in ERL with a very good finish. So, how did that race plan for you? Do you think you could have won if you had better race pace and if you didn't have that penalty? Yeah, I didn't actually keep an eye on you, so I don't exactly know how your race went because you weren't on the top bunch on the start of the race. So yeah, I didn't actually see a lot of your POV throughout that race, but you did definitely pick up the pieces from a lot of the crashes and all of the messing up we had with Grangebeer, Johnny Roper, um, obviously going off the track sometimes. So yeah, some battles you had as well. So very good race from you. This kind of same question as I had to Tom. Do you think you can keep the same form for the rest of the season? Right. Okay, so apparently we cannot hear any of you. So if you, yeah, apparently, okay. Well, I don't know, but anyway, um, yeah, I don't think we can go for much longer. So we're just gonna go into the third place runner, Joruru. Are you there? Nice, nice. So biggest surprise of the race for me in the end, I was switching between Johnny Roper's and Mitchell's penalties, and then Mitchell came home in P3, crossed the line, and Johnny comes up into P3. So everything just going fine till then. I see Joruru um, popping up in P3. I was like, what? And then so you didn't have many penalties. I don't think you had any penalties. So it's caught me by surprise that. So you got 15 points in style. I have to say that. So very well done on keeping it on the track limits. And how do you feel heading into China? Do you think you need another podium, or do you feel like that was a bit lucky? Hmm. That's very true, actually. And yeah, my tip to you three, you don't seem very happy heading into China, but as long as you pick up the pieces from the crashes throughout the 14 race season, so as long as you come into the races and get scoring points in pretty much every race, that's what previous champion did in F2. So yeah, I think that's the key to winning a championship, and I think you're all contenders for the title this season. So we're gonna see you next week from myself in China for F2. These drivers are gonna put another incredible show in Shanghai next season. But for now, tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. for the opening round of Formula One. That's going to be definitely interesting. I think most people will watch that race. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very good one, like last season. So, yeah, tune in at 5 p.m. tomorrow, and hope you enjoyed today's race. See you.